The market improved this week, and we'll see if that becomes the trend as we end out the year. I'm Tony with Clarkson Santoro, and this is our real estate update for the week of Friday, December 5th. We know that selling or buying a home can be very stressful and confusing. That's why we do these weekly videos so you can know how the market is impacting your options as a home seller or buyer. Let's take a look at how the market performed over this past week. 21 homes are on the market now. That's 4 less than last week, with the average asking price being about the same at $1,918,000, up just a little bit from $1,892,000. 2 homes went pending, 1 less than last week, and the average asking price for those pending homes is down significantly from $1,824,000 down to just under 1.5. And most important, but not too surprising, 0 homes closed this week. Obviously, we had 9 last week. It's not too surprising to see that there's not any closings this week, as it's right after Thanksgiving, and that tends to be a harder week to close on because of holiday delays with lenders and closing offices. Okay, so that's how the market performed this past week. And before we look at those broader trends that we just saw that help us know where the market might be heading, if you find this information helpful, why don't you hit the subscribe button down below? And while you're down there, share it with a friend. Everyone deserves to be in the know about their local real estate market. Okay, let's take a look at those broader indicators. Like I said, inventory continues its seasonally appropriate reduction this week. We now have 21 homes on the market, like I mentioned, and we're getting close to being under that 20 home threshold, which is about half of a normal inventory level. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get to under 20 before the end of the year. With inventory finally dropping to more seasonally appropriate numbers, the turnover rate has finally reached healthier levels as well. It's finally touched that 100% mark for the first time since March of this year. Pending sales aren't picking up dramatically, so it is possible that we will not stay at that 100% mark for long, but getting back to that number for just 1 week is a little breath of fresh air in an otherwise stale market. While the turnover rate and dropping inventory numbers are encouraging, the real-time numbers that gave us a little boost of confidence this week, we had some negative movement in those lagging indicators. The over-under numbers reduced a little. Homes are closing about 1.5%, or 1.4 actually, lower than the average asking price right now. This is staying in line with the trend of this year, where you can basically draw a straight line with the plus and minus over the year, which is generally a softer closing prices, but it is an outside of that 2% plus or minus normal range for what we consider a pretty neutral market. The other lagging indicator that we look at is the average closing price of homes in Standard Moan, and those also dropped off a little this week. The 30-day rolling average sales price is back below 1.8, just barely. And based on the week's statistics, I believe that will still end kind of landing in this 1.8 to 1.85 range by the end of the year. The Triple Q fund had a positive turn this week, and you see it's recovered nicely from the past couple of months. After falling off about 3 months to a 3-month low a couple of weeks ago, it's returned to a steady trajectory of growth this week. It's up 3% week over week, and almost back to historical highs, which we saw back in October. Which, again, this healthy market is always good for buyer consumer confidence here in Standard Moan. Mortgage rates also improved again this week, dipping below 6.2, just barely, 6.19, for the first time in over a year. They are still resisting our hope that they will drop to that 5% range that we haven't, and that interest rate hasn't started with a number lower than 6% since well before 2023, back in 2022. I think we will continue to see this sort of sluggish market that we have experienced for the past couple of years until rates return to somewhere in that mid 5%. So kind of 5.5 down here. And if they get to sub 5, then I think we'll be back to real business. The market continues to move in our normal winter season statistic this week. Inventory is likely to continue to dwindle as we close out this month, as fewer homeowners want to deal with the selling process during the holidays. This could give the few homes that remain on the market a little boost in activity as they slowly become the only option in town. We'll see if the turnover rate can maintain 100% or higher to close out the year, which might set up the spring for a better start to 2026. Thank you for joining me for this weekly update. I hope it helps you understand how our market is impacting your options. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can stay informed on how the market continues to shape up as we close out the year. And if you have if you want any help navigating the stressful and confusing process of selling or buying, reach out to us directly or leave a comment down below. We're here to help direct you every step of the way. Have a safe week. I'll see you next weekend with a new update.